students, welcome to the second session. In today's session, we'll be knowing about the air pollution and its control. Air pollution is also a type of environmental issues that we are facing in our day-to-day life, which is leading to the tremendous problem and causing a severe diseases in humans and also with the animals. So what is air pollution? First we have to know the definition for the air pollution. Definition is, when explaining with the environmental issues in the introduction class, I have explained what is pollution. Pollution is nothing but the undesirable change or the undesirable substances that has been present in the environment leading to the pollution. When there is an undesirable thing that has been present or the substances that has been present in the atmosphere causes pollution. But what is air pollution? It is also a undesirable mixture, or it is a mixture of undesirable solid particles or the gases in the air is causing a air pollution, or an undesirable substances that is present in the air causing an air pollution. This is the general definition for the air pollution. So what are the causes for the air pollution? There should be some causes for the pollution to occur. So what are those causes that is causing an air that is leading to the air pollution? Those are smoke, decomposition, burning, leaded petrol, byproducts waste. These are some of the causes, like for example smoke from industries and volcanoes, and also with decomposition, that is decomposition of garbage resulting in the unwanted gases in the atmosphere. If we are decomposing of garbage in a improper way, causing a air pollution, that also causes a air pollution. When we just throw the garbage without properly decomposing, it is also causing an air pollution. Next is burning of fossil fuels, and also industries release particulate. Some of the industries or burning of fossil fuels is also one of the cause for the air pollution. What are particulates? I'll be explaining about it. Next is leaded petrol. It is also one of the causes for air pollution. Now the government is telling us to stop the leaded petroleum. The reason for this you will be knowing it little later in this session. So we even the leaded petrol is causing an air pollution in our environment. Last one is byproduct waste. This is also one of the cause for the air pollution. Now in the earlier classes, in the earlier session, I have told there is a pollutant present in the environment causing an environmental issue or the pollution. If pollution needs to happen, there should be a pollutant. Even when with the air pollution, even when the air pollution is happening, there should be a pollutant that has been present that is causing an air pollution. So here there are two types of pollutants to cause a air pollution. Those are, one is a particulate pollutants and gaseous pollutants. Particulate pollutant, particulate as the name itself suggests, there are certain particles that is causing an air pollution. That is a particles. Particles can be like aerosol, metallic particles, dust particles that is being present in the environment is termed as pollutant, and that is causing a air pollution. Next is gaseous pollutants. The other type of pollutants that has been present in the environment is gaseous pollutants. Even here the name itself suggests the pollutant here is gases. So hence they are called as gaseous pollutants. That includes carbon monoxide, hydrogen sulfide, sulfur dioxide, etc. These are the gases that has been present in the environment causing an pollution, that is an air pollution. Here the definition I have told you, it is an undesirable substances that has been present in the air causes an air pollution. And the causes for this is like smoke, decomposition, burning, leaded petrol, byproduct waste, etc. Pollutants, the pollutants are the substances that has been present in the environment causing a pollution or air pollution. Here in air pollution, the pollutants are of two types: particulate pollutants and gaseous pollutants. So till here you have understood, I think you have understood the topic. Next is harmful effects. What is happening when an air pollution is happening? If there is an air pollution, there should be a harmful effect that is happening. Then only we can tell it as a pollution. One is the presence of carbon monoxide in the air. If there is a carbon monoxide in the air present, that is also one of the type of gases present making us an ill. So what are the harmful effects if there is a presence of carbon monoxide? Carbon monoxide causes headache, decreased vision, or cardiovascular malfunction. If carbon monoxide is present in the air, that causes an headache, decreased vision, cardiovascular malfunction. If hydrogen sulfide is present, in the air, it causes nausea, eye irritation and throat irritation. Next is sulfur dioxide. If sulfur dioxide is present in the atmosphere, then it causes a respiratory tract diseases like asthma, bronchitis and also causes cancer. Next is fine particles. As the name itself suggests, if there is any fine particles that are undesirable, it also causes an damage to the lungs, like breathing problem. It causes an breathing problem, respiratory disorder, inflammation and damage to the lungs. When we inhale that dangerous particle, it causes a damage to the lungs. Next is premature death in plants. If harmful gases are present in the atmosphere, it causes a premature death in plants and also reduces the growth of a plant, or you can tell it causes a retardation in plants. So these are some of the harmful effects from the air pollution. Next talking about three main things you have to know for the control methods of air pollution. To know the control measures, three things to be known that controls the method of air pollution. One is electrostatic precipitator, scrubber and catalytic converter. These are the three control methods for the air pollution. You have to know in this session, the important thing you have to know is electrostatic precipitator, scrubber and catalytic converter. These main three things are the control methods of air pollution. We know well that there are smoke stacks that are in thermal power plants. There are smoke stacks that has been present in the thermal power plants. Smelters is something that smelts the metal. The industries that smelts the metal is called as smelters. And other industries release particulates and gaseous air pollutants. Here the thermal power plant industries or the smelters and other industries are releasing the particulates or the pollutants. Pollutants, as I told you, there are two types of pollutants, particulate and gaseous. From the industries, these two can be released. One is a particulate and another one is a gaseous air pollutant. And with this, even the harmless gases are also produced, like nitrogen, oxygen. When a concentration of nitrogen is less in the atmosphere, definitely it will not cause much of the issues, and oxygen, if it is released, it is good. But with that, even a harmful gases or the particulates is being released. That needs to be stopped. So for this, the three methods are used. One is an electrostatic precipitator, another one is a scrubber and catalytic converters. First, we'll start with the electrostatic precipitator. Look at this diagram. This is very, very important diagram from the examination point of view. Kindly draw this diagram. Electrostatic precipitator, it is different, and scrubber is different. If they ask you with the electrostatic precipitator, you have to draw the electrostatic precipitator diagram. This is really very important diagram and it is very easy too. Electrostatic precipitator diagram, it consists when the air will enter, and when it is filtered, the clean air is given out, like oxygen or some clean air is given out. How this filtrate is done, that will be explained. Now look at the diagram of the electrostatic precipitator. You can see the dust particle, that is the particulate. The dust particle here is a particulate. It is a particle, not a gases. Here the main thing we are concentrating on the particulate. The dust particle is entering the electrostatic precipitator. After that you can see a negatively charged wire. In the diagram you can see a negatively charged wire, that is dark brown or black color. What you are seeing a dot deep inside, it is a negatively charged wire. Surrounding that is a discharge corona. Corona, what you are seeing now, the virus, it is not that corona. We'll leave that apart, we'll see to it later. But in this chapter, in this topic, in the electrostatic precipitator, negatively charged wire is surrounded by the thing called as a discharge corona. This discharge corona is a electron evolving corona. It is a electron evolving corona. Now what I have told is, the dust particle or a dirty air is entering the precipitator. Now after that you can see a negatively charged wire and discharge corona. This negatively charged wire is surrounded by the discharge corona, and after that you can see the lines there. That is called as collection or collection plate grounded, or grounded plate. We'll also call it as a grounded plate. This is how the structure is. You have a dust particle entering a segment. After that you can see a negatively charged wire. Surrounding to that is a discharge corona in which the electrons evolve, electron starts emitting, and later you can see a electrostatic, collection of plate grounded. So these things you have to remember. Now what happens is, the dirty air is entering. Now the dirty air is entering the electrostatic precipitator. Now this discharge corona will give out the electrons. When the dirty air is entering, the discharge corona will give out the electrons. The electrons which is given out is surrounded by the negatively charged. This is negatively charged. Electrons are negatively charged. These charges is surrounded to the dirty air. A particulate which is present is now surrounded by the electrons or negatively charged particle and enters the precipitator. Now what is happening? The dirty air is entering in. When it is entered, this is surrounded, the particulate is surrounded by the electrons which is being emitted by the discharge corona. When discharge corona emits electrons, this is surrounded by the particulate. After this, then after it is surrounded by the electrons, this will enter the precipitator. When these precipitator when this enters into the precipitator, you can see a collection plate grounded, or you can also call it as a grounded plate. This grounded plate will trap the electron charged. Now the dust particle which has entered is surrounded by the electron, that is negatively charged particulate is trapped in the plates. Now this negatively charged particulate is trapped in the plants, that is grounded. When this particulate is surrounded by the negatively charged, when this enters the precipitator, the plates that are present is that traps the negatively charged particulate. Any charged particles will be trapped by the grounded plates. So now what happens? The negatively charged particle is trapped in the plates that has been grounded. Those lines what you are seeing represents the grounded plates. In this, the charged dust particles get trapped and hence only clean air is released. This is how the electrostatic precipitator works to trap the particulate, and as I told, it is used in thermal power plant industries. This is how the basic plan works, and this electrostatic precipitator is mostly used in thermal power plant industries to collect the dust particle, to give out the clean air. This is how one of the control measure is being taken in the thermal power plant industries. I hope you have understood this electrostatic precipitator. See to it you know the diagram well, because this is very important diagram. Next is scrubber. Next you will be knowing about the scrubber. It is really very important, and all these measures will give us the 99.9% or 99% of pure air. After all these measures, it gives out 99% pure air. According to CPCB, that is Central Pollution Control Board, has suggested that particle below 2.5 micrometer, the particles which are below 2.5 micrometers cannot be precipitated as it is very small. So I mentioned here it is 99% it is purified, but below 2.5, the particulate which is below 2.5 micrometers cannot be eradicated or cannot be taken out. This is given by Central Pollution Control Board, that is CPCB. Next is scrubber. Scrubber is very easy. Look at the diagram of the scrubber. It is also in your textbook. Scrubber is really very easy topic. What is happening here is dirty air. You can see a dirty air arrow mark there. That means here in the electrostatic precipitator, mostly it is concerned with the particulates or the particles, but here in the scrubber it is mostly concerned with the gases, harmful gases. What happens now is harmful gases are coming from one direction. In this diagram you can see the dirty air or the harmful gases is entering the chamber or the scrubber from one direction. When it is entered, the dirty air contains both particulate and gaseous harmful gases also. When it is entering, when air is entering, it will have a particulate or the particles and also the harmful gases. Now when a dirty air is entering the scrubber, particulate matter will settle down. You can see the arrow which is shown there, particulate matter. That means the particles settles down. Maybe the metal harmful particles, aerosol particles, something like that, the particulate matter will settle down. And as you know, the gases will go up. It is starting to move upwards. You can see it is represented in an orange color, where air is mainly moving upwards. When it is moving upwards, there is a spray. When it is moving upwards, in the scrubber, you can see the spray. When it is moving upwards, there is a spray, and that spray contains water and lime. So these trap the harmful gases and the clear air is liberated out. When the air is moving upwards, it has a spray. That spray is made up of water or lime spray. This is helping in trapping of harmful gases and liberating the clean air or the clear air. So in the scrubber, SO2 can be easily trapped. That is, harmful gases like sulfur dioxide is easily trapped. If sulfur dioxide is present in the harmful gas, the scrubber is play as a main role in trapping of sulfur dioxide and liberating the clean air. This is in regards with the scrubber. I have already told where the scrubber is being used. Now we have finished with the electrostatic precipitator and scrubber. Last one or next one, as I told you, we'll be knowing the three things in this chapter. One is electrostatic precipitator and a scrubber. Last one is catalytic converter. Catalytic converter are seen in automobiles. Catalytic converters are mostly seen in automobiles. As you all know, automobiles are the major cause for the atmospheric pollution, at least in the metro cities. Because of the automobiles, the pollution is rising. As the number of vehicle increases on the street, this problem is now shifting to the other cities too. So proper maintenance should be taken. Proper maintenance should be taken to avoid this air pollution. When there is a catalytic converter in the vehicle, the catalytic converter, for example, it is a silencer. As in a vehicle, you can see the silencer that acts as a catalytic converter. Before that, government initially suggested that there should be a lead-free petrol or lead-free diesel, because the lead is toxic. Because the lead is very toxic to the atmosphere, the government initially suggested that there should be lead-free petrol and diesel in the automobiles, or there should not be lead in the petrol or diesel. There is a catalytic converter in the vehicle, that is, as I told you, example is silencer, act as a catalytic converter. This catalytic converter will have catalytic agents. This catalytic converter in the vehicle will have a catalytic agent. These agents, you have to remember, the catalytic agents are platinum, palladium and rhodium. Platinum, palladium and rhodium acts as a catalytic agents in catalytic converter. Now in automobiles, most air pollution is happening through the automobiles. So to avoid this, there is a silencer in the vehicle. For example, there is a silencer. This silencer in the vehicle acts as a catalytic converter. This catalytic converter has a catalytic agent. This catalytic agent is made up of, or this catalytic agent is platinum, palladium and rhodium. This will act as a catalytic agents. This catalytic converters are fitted into automobiles for reducing the emission of poisonous gases. How this is reduced, that you will be knowing it. As the exhaust passes through the catalytic converter, you can see the exhaust that has been entering, or the harmful gases that has been entering in from one side. As the exhaust passes through the catalytic converter, unburnt hydrocarbons are converted into carbon dioxide and water. When a hydrocarbon is entering the exhaust or the catalytic converter, the hydrocarbons, that is unburnt hydrocarbons, is converted into carbon dioxide and water. So carbon dioxide and water is not that harmful gases. Carbon dioxide is not that harmful gases compared to unburnt hydrocarbons. So what is happening is, catalytic converter is converting the unburnt hydrocarbons into carbon dioxide and water. And carbon monoxide and nitric, if there is a carbon monoxide and nitric oxide, those are changed into carbon dioxide and nitrogen gas. If the hydrocarbons is entering, it is converted to the water and carbon dioxide. If carbon monoxide and nitric oxide enters, that is changed to carbon dioxide and nitrogen gas respectively. Now you may have the doubt, even a carbon dioxide, even a nitrogen is a harmful, but how we can say it is a how this catalytic converter is helpful? It is because compared to the hydrocarbons, or compared to the unburnt hydrocarbons, or compared to the carbon monoxide and nitric oxide, these gases are comparatively not that problematic. So this is how the catalytic converters are being used. In India, the Air Prevention and Control Pollution Act came into force in the year 1981. In India, the Air Prevention and Control of Pollution Act came into force in the year 1981. You have to remember this. And one more thing I forgot to tell is, Environmental Protection Act overall Environmental Protection Act came into existence in the year 1986. Kindly remember this, Environmental Protection Act was given in the year 1986, whereas Air Prevention and Control of Pollution Act came into force in the year 1981. So in till here you have known, you have understood, I hope you have understood what is air pollution, what are the types of air pollutants, how it can be controlled by three methods. Those three methods are through electrostatic precipitator, scrubber and catalytic converters. These are the some of the methods. Next, controlling vehicular air pollution, a case study in Delhi. We have taken a case studies of Delhi because that is the most polluted air polluted place that we are seeing, that is a Delhi. Hence we are taking that as a case study. What did the government do to control this air pollution? Is using of CNGs, that is compressed natural gas vehicle. Here also they banned the lead petrol or lead diesel, banning of leaded petroleum and diesel, making them use of unleaded petroleum. So there was a complete ban on the leaded petroleum. You can see step by step. One is CNG. Using of CNGs was made mandatory. Air pollution problem in Delhi became so serious. So they have started using the CNG vehicles and they completely eradicated the phasing out old vehicles. Using of CNG, the government started using the CNG vehicles, completely banning the petrol and diesel in the buses, phasing out the old vehicles, again taking off the old vehicles or eradicating the old vehicles. Next is unleaded petroleum. As I told you, the leaded petroleum was stopped or leaded diesel was stopped and most of the vehicles were started using the CNGs. You know why CNGs are used more? There are many reasons. CNG burns most efficient, they burn it easily. CNG is cheaper than the petrol or diesel. So these are some of the causes. They burn more efficiently, they are cheaper than this, and it is also comparatively, it is as it is a compressed natural gas, the air pollution can be reduced. Next is unleaded petroleum. Last one is use of low sulfur petroleum and diesel. So these are some of the controlling measures that which Delhi took up to avoid the air pollution. I hope this session has helped you, and kindly note that the diagrams are very important and the definition, maybe the definition, types of pollutants are very important. Kindly hear it again. For the controlling vehicular air pollution, we have to thank the effort made. The air quality of Delhi has significantly improved. According to the estimate, a substantial fall of carbon dioxide and SO2 level has been found in Delhi between 1997 and 2005. So these are how the measures are being taking place. This is how the air pollution is happening. You have to control the air pollution. So this is how the session is. In the next session, we'll be knowing about the water pollution and its control. Hope this session or the video have helped you knowing about it. Thank you so much.